So in a surprise to, well, absolutely nobody, the recent race at Sonoma for NASCAR was won by none other than Shane Van Gisbergen. The man is on an absolute roll. That's 3 road race victories in a row and puts him in third in the NASCAR playoff standings, seating, whatever the hell they're calling it. But for all of Van Gisbergen's success on road courses, he hasn't exactly covered himself in glory when it comes to the ovals, and that should tell you something. Basically says that driving a NASCAR on an oval ain't as easy as everybody thinks it is. When NASCAR goes to a road course, it's basically, well, Van Gisbergen's gonna win and everybody else is fighting for second place. And in a series where everyone is effectively driving equal cars, that is insanely impressive. And Van Gisbergen has won in pretty much everything he has ever driven. He was dominant in V8 supercars in Australia. He's won major races in a GT3 sports car, and now he's basically kicking the tails of everyone in NASCAR on road courses. Despite all of that undeniable talent, Van Gisbergen seems to have one Achilles heel, and it is a staple among the NASCAR season, and that is the oval races. Now, the common misconception about NASCAR is that it's a bunch of good old boys turning left for 4 hours, and most people think, well, how hard could that actually be? And on the face of it, it does look relatively simple. It's driving in a circle for however many laps the race actually is. However, as most of you already know, NASCAR and driving on ovals is way more nuanced than that. For starters, the NASCAR car itself is usually overpowered, overweight, and has tires that aren't really ideally suited for dealing with that kind of both power and girth. So driving these things around at over 150, sometimes 200 miles an hour requires a bit of finesse when it comes to driving style. There are so many different techniques that these guys have to employ, from side drafting to bump drafting to just figuring out the line around the course itself, and they're doing this with 39 other drivers on the track at the same time trying to figure out the same stuff. And if you needed more convincing, let's go back to our man Shane Van Gisbergen, and look, he is obviously, like we said, a very, very talented driver regardless of what kind of car it is, and he's even struggling to get speed around ovals. That should really tell you all you need to know. This man is the most dominant force on road courses that we've seen in a very, very, very long time. However, when it comes to ovals, he's still trying to figure it out. And really, that should tell you everything you need to know on just how difficult it is to drive around an oval with other drivers and be the first one across the finish line. If a guy like Shane Van Gisbergen struggles, that should tell you that it's pretty damn hard.